Hi folks, welcome back to the channel. My name's Adam. First of all, I'd like to thank you for clicking on this video. You find me here 10 o'clock Friday morning. Just got rid of my first drop at Tottenham Vale. We did a changeover this morning at Rugby, and we're now heading over to the XL Arena, Royal Eden Docks, to do our second drop. And then we're heading up to Ellistown to do a collection for back to the yard, which again will be Saturday morning by the time we get back. We did the changeover this morning at 6 o'clock. It's a wet, miserable, horrible day. I got some fuel, headed down into London. Got here for about 8:30. I was meant to bob the cameras on the way down, but a friend rung me and spoke to him for a while, so we had a bit of a chat, and then I totally forgot. I'll be dead honest. I just forgot, and then I got here and I thought, you've not even filmed anything of getting to your first drop. So this video might be entitled 2 Drops London, but you're only going to see one. But believe me, I have just done one delivery. Wasn't even 2 ton, well, 1.957 ton. It was 1 bundle and 2 boat bags, cut and bend, and 1 bundle of straight bar rebar. So it's the same customer at Bromborough where this load's been collected from. So I'm going to make my way now over to where are you going, pal? Go on. Be over towards the XL Arena to this job. It's not a bad job, this one. It's quite straightforward. From here, probably going to go, yeah, I'll run back up. Will I? No, I can go straight to North Circle this way, can I? Off the wall towards Waltham Cross. Yeah, I'll go that. I was going to say I was going to go back to the A10 and head north to the first roundabout and get on the, well, I can go this way, can't I? And, yeah. Ignore me, towards Edmonton, and then get on the 406 that way. I don't have to head back out the way I came in. So we'll go this way towards Waltham Cross, Edmonton, and then obviously pick up the North Circular 406, round to the A13, and then it's right next to, anyone that knows London and the XL, it's right near the city airport, north of the river. We'll get that off, hopefully. Both these bookings are actually 11 o'clock bookings on my app, but I thought with only having a bundle and a couple of bags, I'm just going to get in here early. Right, so it's 3 minutes past 10 now and we're getting away, so we should be over here easily for 11 o'clock, and we'll see what happens. We've only got a 13-hour day today. Started at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium there. We did quite a bit of work into there. I didn't do too much of it, especially not ground level. I went in and was taking concrete steps in. Really massive arena, that Tottenham Hotspur Arena, massive. It's the best one in the country now, isn't it? By far. Most modern, or everything that's more modern is always improved. You know, gone right off track. But that was interesting. It was like Upton, when they were pulled down Upton Park as well. That was a good job going in there. And then when they pulled down Highbury and we went in, and they were building apartments all around it, like all around where the stadium would be. And you obviously we were parked on the pitch area, and they still had the old clock at the clock end. Still had the old clock in. And Upton Park now, we go down Green Street and do a delivery there, and you won't, obviously there's nothing like a football ground anymore. And then after the Olympics, they changed the Olympic Stadium after we took a lot of stuff into there to obviously West Ham's new football ground. And the steel contractors that we do all the steel around London for won the contract to do the roof, to change the roof of the stadium, so we took a lot of steel into there as well. So obviously we're seeing the old Upton Park come down and the new buildings go up, and we took stuff in there from ground level right up, and same with Highbury really. But we didn't, I didn't do anything, and I don't think Swains did anything with the new Arsenal's new stadium. But they did a lot of work with Wembley just before I started with the heavy haulage and things like that, even taking in the Wembley Arch. But I know I've gone right off tangent, so I'm going to get back on to today's topic. Well, today's deliveries anyway. But yeah, so the best way into this, like I said, if it's near, that's where it is, near, is to get 406 and get on the A13 and get that off E16, East London, and hopefully get a good tip and up to Ellistown tonight, get the load on. We'll have till 6 o'clock tonight, unless we're there for over 3 hours, then we'll get a split break and we'll have till 8 o'clock. So I don't, to be fair, I prefer to just get it off me and then get going. But it's a miserable day. What time did I wake up? I think it was about 20 to 5. Set me alarm. I set me alarm for 10 to 5. I was starting at 5 and meeting the lad at 6 at Rugby. But I was only 20 minutes from Rugby, so I was obviously heading to Rugby, get some fuel, get the trailer dropped and all that. And I woke up at 22 and I could hear it raining. And I thought, great. Just gotta watch this bit here. Around this and over the bridge to get to the 406, sort of come back round on yourself. Yeah, I heard the rain and I thought, bloody hell, been dry for a couple of weeks, hammering it down. And when and I thought, pick the alarm up and set it for 5 o'clock dead on. And when the alarm went off at 5, I thought, sounds a bit better right there. So I got up, brushed my teeth, did my checks, got back in, and it was 23 minutes past 5 and he was ringing me. I'm here now. Said, you there? He said you were there at 6. Well, his brain woke me up, didn't it? Parked under the trees. He was parked under some trees at Wednesbury and the rain's woke him up. Said, so I was up. And no it is, give me 10 minutes, I'll be there. So I swapped trailers and then got some fuel and got down here. What's going on here? He was blocking the junction, but it wasn't his fault. The couple of cars in front of him hadn't moved. There was a big gap, but they hadn't moved across the junction. Well, the channel is going well. I'm really I'm pleased with obviously the response to the videos, the views that I'm getting on the videos, the comments. People seem to be liking the format of the videos and that they're just normal, honest videos with no big dramas or anything. No, you know, just straight to the point. Really, I've not had any big dramas, so there's not really anything to start putting on clickbait titles and anything like that. And the only thing that probably the most like sort of thing that I have put on was I think I named one Dangerous Dark Delivery. But to be honest, if you do watch that video, it was dangerous. I mean, again, I don't think he had the 2 camera set up there, but they were lighting the road up with their vans and machines. It was pitch black. Shouldn't have really been going on that site. And if I'd have come off the road at any point, I'd have got stuck. Yeah, I mean, I suppose dangerous. I suppose it was in a way, but it wasn't exactly, you know, life-threatening or anything like that. But it could have ended up in disaster if I'd have strayed off that road that they'd put in onto the soft stuff. I'd have been stuck. And if the machines hadn't got pulled me out, then it would have been a wrecker. So it was a bit of a dangerous place. You know, well, it's not a dangerous site, but going in at that time of night with no lights whatsoever apart from him with his high beam on in his van, which didn't help because all it did was blinding me on the way up the road. But I know they was doing the best to light it up, and to be fair to them, they stopped behind to tip me, so can't complain. But yeah, you know, I'm I am really happy with the response. I think when I did my weekly Westy video at the start of that video, I think I said we was on something like 167 subscribers. Now we're over 300, something like 327 subscribers, which again for 15, 16, what might be 14, 15 videos, I think it's really good. I do. I'm happy. You know, I'm happy that everyone's enjoying them, and glad that people are enjoying this, watching me tramp around the country. I just wish I could bring you a bit more variety to the jobs that I'm doing, but at the moment, I mean, I was up to Boston this week, and it's nice around there, but I just didn't feel like I had anything like sort of put on. I was still editing the weekly Westy. I was going to have to think, I'm going to have to shorten them down. It ended up being 2 hours 20 minutes. So for the lads that have watched it, thank you for watching it, commenting. But yeah, it was some video that. And if I keep rambling on like I'm now, it'll be another 2 hours and 20 minutes this video, won't it? Oh God. Yeah, like I say, it was the editing of that. I was busy with family commitments. I thought to myself, I'll edit this over the weekend. I had no chance of just sitting there for 2-3 hours editing. No, obviously I've got family commitments and things to do and what have you, so the weekly Westy will be done, and it ended up being 47 gigabytes, the actual edit, when it was finished, because it's all in 4K. So I think then Westy weeklies I'll do in 1080, just bring them down a bit, or even what is it, 2.4 or whatever it is, I don't know what it is, but you know what I mean. But it definitely won't be 4K. The other thing is as well, we've put in both, and I've made that mistake now, but it's only going to be a short video. With having both the cameras in 4K now, when I overlap one of them onto the other to have your forward view of Matt and view facing me, it has to transfer the file that you're trying to put over the top. It has to change that to 1080 anyway, or 240, 2.4 or whatever it is, and that takes 10 minutes to do that. So every time you're putting a clip on, it's doing that. Obviously, you know, these are third world problems, aren't they? From whinging about bleeding editing. But you know what I mean, it became a bit of an epic, so I was still had my head up my backside editing. So the last thing I wanted to do was start another video. Now that's done, the video's out there now and people have seen it, I thought I'd stick the cameras on again today and do this one. And thank everybody who's subscribed. There's loads of names coming up. Obviously YouTube, the way it works, you get a lot of names coming up and then you get a lot of names that don't come up. You look and you think, hell, I've gained 3 or 4 subscribers, I've not seen a name come up, and then you might get a few names coming up. But to everyone that's commented, thank you very much. To everyone that's subscribed, thank you very much. And the thumbs up, the views, brilliant. I really am appreciating that you're enjoying the content, and I'm gonna, you know, it spurs me on to keep making it, to be fair. So that's what I'm gonna keep doing. I'm gonna keep trying to make better and better content for you. And I've had questions asked about talking about driver's hours, talking about weights. And I am going to do some of them videos, but I just want to structure them right and do them right, because if I'm telling somebody that this is how you do it, this is how your driving hours work, this is the breaks you've got to have, and you know, and this is like how you do your weekly rest, how you work out the hours that you owe, when you have to pay them back. One, I've got to make sure that I refresh my memory. I mean, I know it, but I've got to make sure I refresh my memory that everything I'm telling you is correct. Because most of it is more straightforward, but there's a couple of little things that are grey areas that I just want to obviously get right. And then I want to do a video on, like, obviously, like weights and measures, like measurements of overhangs that you're allowed, and lengths of it, rigid length of the vehicle that you're allowed, weights you can carry, and then obviously when then does it become an abnormal load where you would require a second man, and then talk about the duties of a second man, and you know, around tacho brakes and things like that, because it's two different things. You see, if you've got a second man with you, that second man doesn't actually, if it's a second man who's obviously not going to be doing any driving of the vehicle, he's just there to help with the, obviously the fact that the load is abnormal, and he's going to help you in sticky spots where he needs to get out and guide you through maybe parked cars, maybe bad, you know, bad corners, or when you get onto site, that he's going to be your eyes on that side. And even when you're travelling, he's your eyes on that side. He's looking, he can see that side, he can see the hard shoulder, he can see any hazards that you might not be able to see if you're, you know, you're keeping your distance, say, from this van in front. He's got a better view down that side, and he could, you know, he's there to tell me there's a broken down vehicle or any hazard that where I need to move over if I'm wide. So he's obviously assisting that. So he has to be working all the time. He can't be taking a break while he's doing that. He can't be on the bed, he can't be having 40 winks. He's got to be awake and alert and out and obviously watching and assisting you with that, with the transportation of that load. So if you were sharing the driving time with him, if that was another driver, and I've done this in the past, gone up to Aberdeen with a 23 or 24 metre crane beam it was, and we shared the driving up there, we have to physically stop the vehicle to have a 45-minute break. I cannot have a 45-minute break sat in the passenger seat of the truck, you know, like a, because I'm working. When that vehicle's moving, I'm working. Now, double manning, where you're just double manning a normal load, you know, maybe up and down the country or even into Europe, that works slightly different, where he can take a break while you're driving. I can drive for 4.5 hours, swap over, he can have his 45 minutes while I'm driving, and we can swap back and he's had his break. We don't actually need to stop. You know, we can have breaks in the passenger seat, and I could pick him up within the first hour, anytime in the first hour of the journey. So I could leave the depot, set off, and I could have 40 minutes, 50 minutes driving to, say, his house or somewhere where I'm going to meet him, and he gets in, he puts his card in slot number 2. There's 2 tacho slots here. One is what I put my card in, he puts his in number 2. And that will then give us the double manning rules, where we can double man that vehicle, you know, up and down the country or across into Europe or wherever we're going. With a second man, you can't go and pick him up en route, because you cannot move that vehicle if the load is abnormal without a second man with you. But you can be escorted as well. You know, for me, if the load's long, I think it doesn't really matter. Having a second man is fine. I think if once the load gets to a certain width, I think a second man it's not what you need. What you need is an escort sat behind you. Because if I can contain the vehicle in one lane, and maybe I'm just overhanging the hard shoulder a little bit and overhanging the lane a little bit, but I'm driving in one lane, and I can see, you know, the load's set back a little bit on the trailer, and I can see, and I can, you know, judge when I can move out and overtake. I think a second man with you, it's fine, it's all you need. Once you start getting into the parameters where I need to be straddling a lane and I'm hanging over both sides of the lane, then you need an escort then to sit there, obviously, to make sure that there's no vehicles trying to get past you in that lane. They're going to have to go around the escort vehicle and come past you that way. And then if I radio him and say I need to come out, yep, come out, and he'll move over into the fast lane or the third lane and let me come across. So there is, I've been escorted on a lot of loads, and I prefer it much more than a second man. But if it's just a long load, Second man's fine because your vision is not impaired. You're not taking up any more width on the road. It's just length. And where you'll need a second man then is to assist on tight corners when you're getting into the site itself or coming off. You know, you might need him to guide you in certain situations. But yeah, them things I do want to touch on. I know I've talked a bit about abnormal loads there, but I'd like to put something together properly and do a proper driver hours video, do a proper video on the weights that you can carry, and obviously legal lengths and widths before you start getting into needing a second man, and then obviously before then, after at certain points you just need an escort. It's just simple as that. You start getting up, which I've never moved none of these really massive. I'm not going to sit here and say that I've been 100-ton loads on. I haven't, you know what I mean. I've had some tasty gear on, you know what I mean. Like I say, I mean, a 24 metre, pretty sure it was 24 metre. It wasn't any smaller anyway. All the way up to Aberdeen. I actually picked that up from Birmingham with an agency driver. Got it back to the yard. I had my time off in the truck in the yard, and Phil, don't work for us anymore, came in the morning, and off we went. And he did the first stint, which is easy, and I did the second stint where you're going through all the roundabouts of Dundee and up the A9 up to Aberdeen, and then backing it in the building. But we'll talk more about that. We'll talk more about how then communication with either radios or phones with your headset in was brilliant for things like that. And the backload from there was 2 collections to do with Crabes, the haulage company up there, to Southampton. So we went all the way, I picked it up in Birmingham, the night in the yard at Manchester, all the way up to Aberdeen, tipped in Aberdeen, and then came all the way back down, do 2 collections in Dice near the airport at Aberdeen. Cabin was one of them, and then a load of like augers for drilling and things like that, and bits like that for a big drilling machine, pipes and stuff like that. Come back down, dropped him off at Manchester. I got a little bit further down because we double manned it back down to Manchester. I got a little bit further down, parked up for the night, and then took it all the way down to Southampton the next morning. Yeah, that's when the job is it's good then, it's satisfying. You know, you've transported a beam like that all the way up to Aberdeen, and then done a couple of collections up there, and then transported that all the way down to Southampton. Because that when you get anything round there, Aberdeen, the airport and the Dice airport and around that area, a lot of it is to do with oil rigs and stuff like that. And this is basically what these drill augers and equipment and everything was for. So it's probably been on an oil rig in the North Sea, and then it's come back off there, been refurbed and checked and made sure everything's alright, and then it's been transported then all the way down to Southampton to go offshore somewhere to an oil rig down there on the south coast. So no, that's when the job is interesting, and well, really interesting and really satisfying, that you're doing them type of distances and getting up and down, and actually the products that you're carrying. Right, we're just arriving at the job now. Royal Eden Dock, Seagull Lane is the name of the road that brings you in round the back of the XL Arena. We'll pull over here on the left, and then what they normally do is take us round, reverse us back into the pit lane where we're going to be offloading. Right, they're just about to get us in now. I've been sat outside getting on, well, at least an hour and 45, an hour and 50 minutes. And just getting me in now. I've just noticed this guy's got rear steer and what looks like, what, 25-30 foot trailer. And now they're going to think that I can do exactly the same as him with a 45 foot trailer and no rear steer. But that's where they said they want me in there, so we'll see. See how his rear wheels steered. Now they're steering again now. Makes life so much easier when you're getting in and out of tight spots. Does look quite a big area that actually to get in. Right. Too bad, we're in. There we go. We're in position. Let's hope they get me tipped quicker. It's 12:30 now. I don't really want to be here more than 2 hours. 2:30 will give me enough time. 3.5 hours to get up to Ellistown. We're done, guys. 20. Well, to be honest, I've been messing about for 5 minutes finding out what I'm doing, so 50 minutes it took him to tip all that steel off the back. Pretty impressive, that. So I might have had to wait outside nearly 2 hours, but I got in there for 12:30 and I was out of there 45 minutes, because I put, when he'd finished tipping me, I put on my sheet 13:15, so 45 minutes to get all that steel off. Pretty impressive, that. We're not going to Ellistown. Don't know what's happened to the Ellistown job. I think yesterday he mentioned Ellistown to me when he said what I was doing, the changeover and the 2 drops London. He mentioned collection out of Ellistown. But we're going to Gateway, our Gateway site, so not too far from there, 40 minutes away. So we just after 2 o'clock. If we're leaving there for 3 o'clock, do me that, get a good 3 hours up the road. That'll leave me with a couple of hours to do in the morning. Get a 5 o'clock start. Back in the yard for 7, that'll do. Wash off, home. Happy with that. Sometimes it is what it is when you're tramping, running in, you know, the availability on a Friday night. I know not all you lads, drivers out there will do that. You'll be doing Monday to Friday jobs, but I think just on this job, being available for Friday night and running back in Saturday morning, it's not everyone's cup of tea, I understand that, and I've mentioned previous vlogs how long it'll be my cup of tea. I don't know, but I've done quite a few in a row now, running in Saturday, so I might just lean on him a little bit, mention that, and just say, look, get me back Friday this week, meaning next week, obviously. Have a break and then back at it again for a few weeks. Big place, this XL. I've been up along on this delivering, actually backing into this XL. They made this into a Nightingale hospital though, didn't they? But I think they've scrapped that idea now. And I don't think it was the entire XL arena because it's massive. I think it was just a part of it. But yeah, it was some big flower show that I was delivering to. And it was like all like hydroponic kits and things like that. Dutch. The Dutch hydroponic kits. But yeah, it's the only time that should have delivered anything inside this arena. The intention was not to make this vlog too long. When I realise now it's probably going to be half an hour, 40 minutes long, so I'm gonna, what's it now, just get over to Gateway, get the load on, and then I'll bring you back either when we're heading up or when we're parking up. See where we can get to tonight, see if it all goes to plan. Hi folks, we're back on, all packed up now. Parked on the A1 in a deep lay-by just south of Grantham. That's us for the night now. It's 6 o'clock, or just leaving 6 o'clock now. Yeah, got a good run up here. Decided to come up the A1 again. Don't like the bottom of that M1, M6 on a Friday. M1 and then the M6. I mean, you could go M11, that's not a bad way to go now. Now they've improved the A14. M11, A14, then join the M6, but decided on the A1 again, and we got a good run up. And that was out really by the lads at Gateway, to be fair, because it was getting on for 1:30 when we left the XL and got over to headed over towards Gateway. I stopped maybe 5-10 minutes, just nipped in the garage in the BP M&S to get a few bits, and then carried on. Got in there, booked in. The lads sent me round to site 2, Swain's site 2, and then 3 of them come round on the forklift and jumped straight on me. Teamwork makes the dream work, as they say, so we all got the rails down quickly. Got them put away, the rails in the fall arrest system. And then we had one lad taking them off the pile, bringing them to the truck, and the other 2 lads were loading them. And I was cracking on with strapping it. So I come out of there. Well, I was done for 2:45. Pulled out of there at 2:50 and then got a right good run up. So, yeah, I'm pleased with that. It's like I was saying about these Gateway projects and the projects that we've got down there in our Southern Depot. How the work's changed, like I was saying on Wesley Weekly. But, you know, we're concentrating more on London and that south east of the country, but the backloads are brilliant. And it won't always be as quick as that, because when it's busy and you're coming in there and there's trucks queuing, and we've also got other hauliers going in there, subbies and stuff, during the spring and then into the summer when it's busy. Obviously, it won't be as quick, but you just know you've got a backload, and a good backload. And I'd rather go there than run up to Ellistown, because obviously then I am running right up there. Well, I can still go M11, A14, M1, but you're still running right up the M1, and then you've got to come off in towards Burton, get into Ellistown. I mean, we've got our Burton depot at Woodville, so it's not too bad at Swaddling Court. But I much prefer just grabbing something out of Gateway, and then I'm done, I'm loaded, I'm done. I can just start heading north, and I'm just planning the rest of my day then, where I'm parking, and I'm working out what time I'm going to get home in the morning. Monday, I've got some e-learning to do. So Monday I'm in at 7, and I'm in the classroom for a couple of hours. The e-learning, I think I mentioned that as well in the last video, is to keep us FORS Gold accredited. We're FORS Gold accredited haulier, so to keep that going, we have to complete the e-learning courses. I think the last 2 years, you repeat them. There's some new ones been added. I did a new one last year, but you sort of repeat them, and they're valid for 2 years, and you have to do it again. So, you know, obviously if it was like January or February 2020, sorry, when I did say the terrorist one, then that's what I'll be doing now, because it'll be getting up for the 2 years or just past it. So I'll have to complete that one. But there's one on like terrorism, there's one on emissions around London, there's stuff on low bridges, on bridge strikes. I think that was one of the new ones that they've emphasised on. Obviously the low emissions is called Low City. You got a load restraint one, all about cyclist one, things like that. There's a few of them. The terrorist one, for an example, you have like, they'll be showing you what to look out for, what to do if you feel like you've been pulled over by the police but you're unsure that it is the police, especially when you're carrying high consequence dangerous goods such as like fertilizer that we sometimes carry. Then you put a card in the window and it has a unique number, and to tell them, look, I understand you've pulled me over, I'm not happy about it, I'm going to ring the local police or the number that's on the card, and they'll tell me then if there is a police operation in that area, or if that police officer obviously knows who I'm contacting. So we will contact the number as well, give him obviously his badge number and all that, and say, look, no, it is a genuine stop, I need to speak to him about something. Because it happens, you know what I mean, you just see somebody with an hat on and a few, you know, red and blue etchings and a Ivy's vest and dressed like a police officer, and pulls in front of you in a car, and it comes up, follow me, and you follow them off the motorway network into a lay-by like this, secluded, and you get out thinking, or you open your door thinking, oh, it's the police, and it's not. Before you know it, you're out, you know, you're out the truck, and they've got your truck and they've got your load. So it's things like that, and things about not stopping in the same places. If you do, you're watching your truck for when you're carrying that sort of high consequence dangerous goods. But the other thing is as well, like, it shows different scenarios where if you see something, it'll show you like to look round this. You'll get a screen, and you can actually move the screen from left to right, the picture will scroll, and you'll be looking round like a offloading area, and it'll tell you to look out for maybe 6 signs where something could be wrong, and one of them is a camera and it's had the wire cut, and then and like I said, when you've done it, you know what you're looking out for. You might forget a few of the things, but we've still got to keep renewing them every 2 years, keeping that fresh in your memory. And then obviously any new drivers that come in have to do all this e-learning as well. And this might be a brand new course, or it might be one that I've done, but usually take about 40 minutes. And if I've got a couple of them to do, that's why they're saying you'll probably be a couple of hours. So I must have a couple of them to complete, and then I'll be on the road. I'll be tipping this load I've got, and then they'll get me off down the road as usual for the week. So just a bit of e-learning, a bit of classroom work. It means I don't have to get up early on Monday, so I'll be able to have a beer watching telly and won't be getting up till later. Well, I'm going to sign off then. I'm going to get my tea, maybe start to edit this video a little bit. It's not going to go up till maybe Saturday night, Sunday, and then next week we'll get back to doing the 2 videos again. So thank you all for watching. Please like and subscribe. Thumbs up, thumbs down, comment. I'll answer your comments. I've answered every single comment that I've had on the channel so far. You guys stay safe, be good, be kind, and I'll catch you on the next one. Have a good weekend. Bye for now.